Imagine waking up on a Monday morning in Melbourne, making yourself a coffee, and knowing that while you slept, your money sent you another paycheck. No bus, no alarm, no trading hours for dollars, just dividends hitting your account. Forever. That's the dream a lot of Australians are chasing right now. And today, I'm going to show you exactly how much you need invested to actually live off dividend forever in Australia. Not theory, not American advice that doesn't work here. Real Australian numbers, real tax implications, real stocks and ETFs you can buy today. By the end of this video, you'll know the exact dollar amount you need, how long it takes to get there, and the specific investments that make it possible. Because here's the truth. Living off dividends in Australia is genuinely one of the most achievable forms of financial freedom on the planet. And the reason is something almost unique to us. Let's break it down. First, you need to understand Australia's secret weapon, franking credits. When an Australian company pays you a dividend, they've usually already paid 30% company tax on those profits. And here's the magic. The government gives you that tax back as a credit. So when you see a 4% dividend yield on the ASX 200, the real grossed-up yield after franking credits is closer to 5.5 or even 6%. This system was introduced back in 1987 by the Hawke government to stop the same dollar of profit being taxed twice, once at the company level, and again in the hands of the shareholder. Australia and New Zealand are among the only countries in the world that still run a full dividend imputation system like this. In the United States, the United Kingdom, and most of Europe, dividend investors get hit with double taxation, which is why an ASX portfolio paying 4% can outperform a US portfolio paying the same headline yield on an after-tax basis. Let me give you a real example. You own $10,000 worth of Commonwealth Bank shares. They pay a 4% dividend. That's $400. But because CBA already paid 30% company tax, you get a franking credit worth around $170. So your real income is $570, not $400. That's a grossed-up yield of 5.7%. If you're in a low tax bracket or retired, you might get that entire $170 back as a tax refund. Cash in your account. Americans don't get this. Europeans don't get this. Aussies do. And it's the single biggest reason dividend investing in Australia is so powerful. Marcus Aurelius said, "Waste no more time arguing about what a good man should be. Be one. Stop arguing about whether dividend investing works. Just start, because the math is already on your side." So let's talk numbers. How much do you actually need to live a comfortable life in Australia? The Association of Superannuation Funds of Australia, which is the gold standard for this research, says a single person needs around $54,000 a year for a comfortable retirement, and a couple needs around $77,000. That's having private health insurance, running a car, taking a domestic holiday, going out for dinner without stressing. If you want the lean version, a modest lifestyle is closer to $35,000 for a single and $51,000 for a couple. And if you're chasing the full-fat lifestyle, overseas trips, eating out whenever you want, maybe upgrading the car every few years, you're realistically looking at $100,000 or more. Now here's where it gets interesting. The average dividend yield across the ASX 200 sits at around 4% in 2026. And once you add franking credits, that grosses up to roughly 5.5%. If you go heavier into high-yield names, you're looking at a yield closer to 5.5 to 6% before franking, and around 7% grossed up. So depending on how you build a portfolio, your real yield is somewhere between 5 and 7% in today's market. Let's use 5.5% as a sensible, realistic number for someone holding a diversified Aussie dividend portfolio. Here's the math. If you want $50,000 a year in income, you divide that by 5.5%. You need around $910,000 invested. If you want $75,000 a year, you need roughly $1.36 million. If you want $100,000 a year, you need about $1.82 million. And if you want to live the genuinely luxurious life on $150 a year, you're looking at around $2.7 million. Now, before you panic and say, "I'll never hit those numbers," hold on, because here's the part that should excite you. These numbers aren't reserved for high-income earners or people who inherited money. The average Aussie who starts early enough and stays consistent will absolutely hit these numbers. Seneca said, "It is not the man who has too little, but the man who craves more that is poor." You don't need 2.7 million to be free. You need enough. And for most Aussies, enough is somewhere between 900,000 and 1.5 million. That's achievable. But hold on. There's a catch most people forget. Tax. Even with franking credits, you still pay marginal tax on dividend income above certain thresholds. The good news for Aussies is the tax-free threshold is 18,200, and franking credits effectively shield a huge chunk of your dividend income from extra tax. In fact, if dividends are your only income, you can earn around $30,000 in fully franked dividends and pay basically zero net tax, because the franking credits offset your tax bill completely. Let me show you how this works. You earn $30,000 in fully franked dividends. The franking credits add about $12,800 in imputation credits. Your gross income is $42,800. Your tax on $42,800 is around $5,500, but you've got $12,800 in franking credits. So the ATO actually owes you $7,300. Cash refund, straight into your account. That's the power of franking credits for retirees or anyone living solely off dividends. If you're still working and your income is higher, franking credits still reduce your tax bill, but they won't wipe it out completely. This is why most Aussies targeting dividend freedom aim to retire before they turn on the dividend tap. Because once dividends are your only income, the tax efficiency is unbeatable. Epictetus said, "Wealth consists not in having great possessions, but in having few wants." The less you need, the less you pay in tax, and the faster you reach freedom. Now let me show you the path most people miss. You don't need to save $900,000 from scratch. You need to invest consistently and let compounding do the heavy lifting. If you invest $1,500 a month into a diversified Aussie share portfolio averaging 8% total return, which is well below the long-term ASX average, you'll hit $900,000 in about 19 years. Bump that to $2,000 a month, and you're there in around 17 years. Start in your late 20s and you're financially free before 50. Let me make this even more real. You're 28. You earn $70,000 a year. You commit to investing $2,000 a month into ASX dividend ETFs. Year 1, you've got $24,000 invested. Year 5, $135,000. Year 10, $366,000. Year 15, $700,000. Year 19, you hit $910,000. At that point, your portfolio is paying you $50,000 a year in dividends. You can live off that forever. You're financially free at 47. Same person, same income, just 19 years of consistency. That's the path. The other lever most people ignore is the account structure used to hold these investments. Holding dividend-paying shares inside superannuation means the income is taxed at just 15% during accumulation, and zero in pension phase once you hit preservation age. That's why a lot of Australians targeting dividend freedom run a dual-track strategy. One portfolio inside super for long-term tax efficiency, and a second portfolio outside super for income that can be accessed before 60. Marcus Aurelius said, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." The fact that super is locked until 60 isn't a problem. It's the structure that makes this whole thing work. Use it. So what do you actually buy? Here's the thing. Chasing the highest yield is the single biggest mistake new dividend investors make. If you see a stock paying 12% on the ASX, it's almost always a value trap. Either the price has collapsed because the business is in trouble, or the dividend is about to be cut. The companies that pay sustainable, growing dividends decade after decade are the boring ones. The big banks, Wesfarmers, BHP in good years, Telstra, Woolworths, the major insurers. They are not exciting, but they pay you forever. And forever is the goal here. There's also a smarter way to do this than picking individual stocks, especially when you're starting out. Aussie dividend ETFs do the heavy lifting for you. VAS gives the entire ASX 300 with a yield around 3.5 to 4% plus franking. VDHG targets high dividends with around 5 to 6% before franking. There's also iShares IOZ, BetaShares INCM for monthly income, and a few others that give you instant diversification across 50 to 300 dividend-paying companies with one trade. For most Australians, a simple 2 ETF portfolio will outperform 90% of stock pickers over 20 years. And you'll sleep a lot better. It's also worth knowing how these distributions actually land in your account. Most Australian ETFs pay quarterly: January, April, July, and October, while individual ASX shares typically pay twice a year. Interim dividends around February or March. Final dividends around August or September. That uneven payment schedule is why many income-focused investors deliberately mix ETFs and direct shares, so the cash flow lands more evenly across the calendar year. Some even build what's called a dividend calendar, lining up holdings so a payment arrives almost every single month, which makes the transition from salary to dividend income feel a lot smoother when the time finally comes. Seneca said, "Luck is what happens when preparation meets opportunity." Buy boring dividend stocks. Hold forever. Reinvest the dividends. Wait, that's the preparation. The opportunity is financial freedom. Now let's talk about the part nobody likes to hear. Inflation. If you need $50,000 to live today, you'll need around $67,000 in 10 years, and around $90,000 in 20 years, assuming 3% inflation. The reason dividend investing still works long-term is that quality Australian companies grow their dividends over time, usually faster than inflation. The big banks have grown dividends roughly 4 to 5% per year on average across decades. That's how a dividend portfolio actually keeps you free. There's one more piece I want you to hold on to: the Dividend Reinvestment Plan, or DARP. While you're still building your portfolio, instead of taking the cash payouts, you can automatically reinvest every dividend back into more shares. This is where the snowball really starts rolling. Your shares pay dividends. Those dividend buy more shares, and those new shares pay more dividends. By the time you flip the switch from accumulation to living off the income, your portfolio is producing dramatically more than it would have if you'd been spending dividends along the way. Here's an example. You invest $20,000 into VAS. It pays a 4% dividend. That's $800 a year. If you take the cash, you get $800. If you reinvest through the DLP, you buy more shares. Next year, you're earning dividends on $20,800, then $21,600, then $22,400. After 20 years of reinvesting, your original $20,000 is worth over $90,000, and it's paying you $3,600 a year in dividends instead of $800. That's the power of DRPs, and most Aussies never turn them on. Marcus Aurelius said, "The obstacle is away." Inflation feels like an obstacle, but growing dividends turn it into the way forward. Build the system. Trust the process. So let's bring it all together. To live off dividends forever in Australia, you're realistically looking at between $900,000 and $1.8 million invested. Depending on your lifestyle, you can hit that by investing consistently into quality Aussie dividend stocks and ETFs, leveraging franking credits to slash your tax bill, avoiding high-yield traps, and giving compounding the runway it needs to work. If this video helped you see the path to financial freedom more clearly, smash that like button, subscribe to the channel, and turn on notifications so you don't miss the next breakdown. Leave a comment and tell me, how much are you investing each month toward dividend freedom? Let's keep each other accountable. I'm Aussie Wisdom Daily. Thanks for your time, mate. I'll see you in the next one. No worries.